Greetings, young and weary traveler. Yes, do come in from the rain and warm yourself by my fire. What brings you out on such a dark and rainy All Hallows Eve? Oh, you were hiking in these hills and lost your way from your group. How unfortunate for you. Yes, I live here alone with my my cat, Gustav. Please refrain from trying to pet him. He's not very fond of that. May I offer you a cup of my special tea? It's quite delightful on a chilly night like this. I apologize for not having a telephone or radio for you to call for help. Perhaps I can entertain you with a few tales of the macabre to help pass the time until the rain stops and you can continue on your journey. Just sit back, relax, and let me whisk you away with my words.
Sheriff Campbell, come quick! We found someone on the other side of the forest.
Deputy Carrell, do you mean someone actually survived this helicopter crash?
Yes, sir. It's the flight nurse from the mid-flight crew. She got tangled up in a tree. She's pretty smashed up, but she's conscious.
Take me to her, Deputy. Are the paramedics on their way?
Yes, Sheriff. They're on their way up the hill as we speak.
What's her name?
The ID card around her neck says her name is Lynn Baxter.
Miss Baxter, my name is Sheriff Campbell. You've been in a serious accident and you are injured. Help is on the way. Can you please tell me what happened?
We had picked up a trauma patient in Helena, and we're transporting him to Fuller General for emergency surgery. I was attending to the patient in the back of the chopper when something big struck us from the side. The pilot struggled to keep us in the air. Then the sliding door came off. The cold night wind whipped through the inside of the helicopter bay. I covered the patient with my body, trying to keep him safe. I heard glass breaking and a blood-curdling scream coming from the flight deck. I remember an explosion. Then we fell into a steep dive. I somehow was sucked out of the helicopter and fell for what seemed like forever. I remember the pain of hitting several tree branches before being impaled by a sharp tree limb. Then...
Medic! Medic! We need a medic!
I'm right here, Sheriff. I got her.
Will she be all right?
Sorry, Sheriff. She's gone.
Deputy, notify the flight crew's next of kin.
I will, sir. Sheriff, before you go, I wanted you to take a look at this. It's a piece of the copter wreckage. You see these markings? They look like claw marks.
Probably a nearby animal being curious. Nothing to worry about.
All right, Sheriff, if you say so. This valley has always given me the creeps. No wonder they call it the Devil's Canyon.
I was jolted awake by a sound at my front door. I slowly got up from my couch, feeling the ache in my back. I really miss my bed, I thought to myself. I made my way to the door, pausing to check through the peephole. There was no one there. I carefully opened the door to avoid any surprises. As I opened it, I noticed something attached to it. Upon closer inspection, it was an eviction notice stapled to the door. Ever since the new air taxi service, Fly U, opened 9 months ago, I've lost all my charter business. An independent pilot with just one plane can't compete with the corporate giants. These hipsters love ordering flights like they would a pizza or an Uber, all through an app on their phones. God bless America, right? The notice stated that I must vacate the premises by October 31. Just 3 days away, I thought. The county sheriff will physically remove anyone who remains on this property to enforce this order. I'd been expecting this for a few days now. I had a paralegal I dated on and off help me fight the eviction in court, which allowed me to live here rent-free for 3 months. But ultimately, it came down to the fact that I had no money to pay rent or feed myself. The lady judge at last week's hearing said that if things were really that bad, I should file for bankruptcy and stop wasting other people's time and resources. She ruled in favor of the landlord and ordered my eviction. She banged her gavel and shouted, "Call the next case!" The old bat was truly understanding. I heard a soft sound coming from inside my apartment. I shut the door and realized it was my phone ringing. I began searching for it. Everything was packed away in boxes, and I couldn't recall where I had left my phone. After drinking an entire bottle of cheap whiskey last night, my memory was a bit hazy. The kitchen. I remembered I had ordered some Chinese food before I blacked out. I discovered my phone under a container of leftover shrimp fried rice. The number on the screen was unfamiliar. I tapped the screen with my finger. "Hello? Hello? Can you speak louder? I can't hear you." Damn phone. What do you expect from a gas station cell phone you get for free when you buy a case of beer? It was a Titan L2 smartphone. I suppose the L stands for the lousiest cell phone you can buy. "Hey, Ralph, good morning. It's been a few months. I heard you had an accident. Are you all right?" "Wow, you broke your arm and messed up your shoulder after falling off the roof. Cheryl making you do chores around the house again, huh? That'll teach her. So, your doctor has grounded you for at least a month. That's tough. I'm sorry to hear that. No, I don't have anything planned right now. Seriously, I would love to have a job. So all I need to do is pick up this bigwig social influencer in Fuller County and get her to the state capitol on time for her flight to France? How much am I getting paid for this? Really? That much? Oh, hell yes, I can handle that. Thanks, Ralph. You're truly saving my bacon. That sounds good to me. Tell her to meet me at the airstrip at noon. Oh, finally, some good fortune. This could really help me get back on my feet for a fresh start. Let me check my maps. All right, I'm here. Fuller is to the north of me, and the capital is just northwest of that. I have just enough fuel to make this work if I take a shortcut flying through this area. The Devil's Canyon. Sounds delightful. Hello, Ralph. Yeah, good, buddy. I just dropped off that crazy YouTuber, or whatever she calls herself. Oh, what a day it's been. She paid me right away through PayPal. I guess not all technology is bad. Thanks again for the gig, Ralph. I owe you one. Oh, that's right. I owe you several. Whatever you say, man. This has turned out to be a great day after all. Once I get home, I'm heading out for a steak dinner with all the fixins'. Then tomorrow, I'm going to look for a decent place to move into. Yes, sir. This is the beginning of a new and better second act in my life. Ralph, what you say, good buddy? What was that? Sorry, Ralph, I'm beginning to get some radio interference flying over this canyon. I'll ring you later when I get home. Over. Brian out. Geez, those clouds are looking really gray and dark. It feels like bad weather or a storm is brewing. That's funny. Our weather report didn't mention any rain for tonight. But now it's starting to drizzle. I better put the pedal to the metal and try to make it home before the weather gets any worse. Even at a faster speed, I should make it home with plenty of fuel to spare. Well, I have to say, today has been an amazing day overall. Within minutes, it started getting dark. I had to rely on my instruments to navigate through these canyons. There was some fog rolling in, too. I'll feel better once I clear these canyon walls. I felt a heavy object bounce off the top of the plane, causing me to lose some altitude. Crap! What the hell was that? I struggled a bit to get the plane back on course. Did I hit a flock of birds or something? It felt large and heavy. I heard a scraping sound that appeared to be coming from outside the plane near the back. It was as if someone was dragging a sharp rake across the top of the aircraft. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the noise stopped. What on earth is happening? This is nuts. What could be on top of the plane? I heard a chilling, almost sonic scream coming from just above. At that moment, something caught my eye in my left peripheral vision. I turned and was astonished by what I saw. It resembled a winged creature with 2 arms and 2 legs. Its appearance was scaly, reptilian. Its skin looked dark and tough, similar to that of an elephant or a rhino. Its face seemed twisted into a grotesque grin or smile, and it had a pair of horns protruding from its head. It looked like a gargoyle from those medieval stories. Suddenly, that creature slammed into the left side of the plane with full force. I struggled to keep the aircraft level, but then I lost sight of it. The engine began to sputter, and I felt the plane hesitate and start to lose altitude. I glanced at my oil and fuel gauges, which revealed the harsh reality of the situation. Both gauges were nearly on empty. Had it somehow damaged the fuel and oil lines? The plane began to plunge into an uncontrolled dive. I couldn't pull it up from the descent. I reached behind my seat, grabbed a parachute, and managed to open the door. I managed to open the chute, but almost right away, something went awry because I began to pick up speed on the descent and crashed into a cluster of tree branches. It seems my chute got snagged on something, causing me to come to a sudden halt. I found myself just swaying in the breeze. In the distance, I could hear that sonic screech echoing from somewhere far away. I took my pocket knife off my keychain and started to cut myself free from the parachute. I dropped a short distance to the ground, but I was fine. I need to get moving. That thing is still out there. I ran through the forest as fast and quietly as I could. Suddenly, I stopped and I heard something crashing through the trees just to my east. Oh no, it must be that fiend with the wings. As I turned to flee, I noticed 2 red glowing dots in a thick cluster of trees. They resembled laser targeting lights, hovering about 6 feet off the ground. Could there be hunters out here at this hour? Perhaps they could assist me in escaping that monster. Then I saw the lights begin to move slowly to the side. A cold shiver ran down my spine as I realized those red glowing dots were indeed eyes. In what felt like mere seconds, this creature emitted a deafening scream and charged at me, knocking me off my feet. It seized me by the neck before I could react and hurled me like a rag doll into some oak trees. I felt a sharp crack in my shoulder. Grabbing a broken tree branch, I swung it wildly at him, but he dodged it effortlessly. The creature shook its head at me as if to say, "Sorry, you missed." I lunged forward and finally struck him with the branch, which snapped in 2 upon impact. This beast was as rock solid as they come. He headbutted me, sending me crashing to the ground. As he loomed over me, I could feel his red, glowing eyes piercing into my very soul. He opened his mouth, and in a very deep and menacing voice he said,
"All men have an appointed time to die."
Then he lifted a massive rock above his head and brought it crashing down towards me. No!
Sheriff Campbell, you won't believe this, but we got another missing aircraft report over Devil's Canyon again. That's the 5th one this month.
Well, it's that thing's hunting season after all.
What'd you say, Sheriff? I didn't catch that.
It was nothing. Let's get a rescue team assembled and get out there. It's probably going to be a busy October, Deputy.
Hello there. You got a light? I should really quit these things. They will be the death of me. Thanks. Nice suit. Is it silk? I knew it. I could tell by the way it hangs off you. Very nice. I like a man with taste. Yes, I am here alone. And yes, I would love a drink. Let's find a booth so we can talk. There's one in the corner. Oh, waitress, I'd like a vodka cranberry cocktail. My name is Diana, named after the Roman goddess Diana the Huntress. And you are? Chris Sarandon. It's so nice to meet you. I love the frames of your glasses. Are they designer? I can spot quality from a mile away. So what line of work are you in? You are an accountant. Very nice indeed. I wouldn't have expected any less of a handsome and well-dressed man such as yourself. You might say I'm in the sales and distribution game. Is this your first time here? Oh, I've been here twice before. Once for the grand opening a month ago, and then again a week ago. It's not bad. A nice crowd, the music is good, and the drinks are strong. So you usually hang out on the east side when you're in town. You travel a lot for business. Impressive. Oh, here are our drinks. You insist on paying for the drinks. What a gentleman you are. And they say chivalry is dead. I noticed you eyeing the small tattoo on my chest, just above my heart. What does the inscription say, because you can't quite make it out? Oh, it says Bride of Satan. You think it's interesting. So I must be into black magic or the occult? That sounds judgy on your part, Chris. What would you know about that? So anything that is different, that doesn't fit into your antiquated Judeo-Christian cookie-cutter mold is dark or wrong. My mind is open to a far greater truth than you can possibly comprehend. Some of us know where the real power is. We believe in giving our loyalty in exchange for all of life's treasures. Have you ever heard the story of Prometheus? It's a Greek myth. Prometheus was a titan. He He stole the flame of knowledge from the gods and gave it to mankind. Prometheus is the hero of that story for wanting to give mankind knowledge, a power over their own destiny. A true rebel who believed that power should be shared and not hoarded. What kind of deity would be so selfish and heartless as to not share all the secrets of the universe with his creation, his children? Are we truly free or just slaves, put here only to endure cloistered lives, devoid of pleasure, and serve the needs of one cruel god? You guess that's one way to look at it? It's the only way for any enlightened individual to look at it. You think it sounds more like the story of the serpent in the Garden of Eden. Imagine that. I guess that's another way of looking at it. Isn't my drink such a beautiful color? A deep blood red. You know, many ancient cultures believed that all your physical traits, like intelligence and strength, resided in your blood. These cultures believed that through the ritual of human sacrifice, those traits would enhance the one who drank it, including extending their lives. As for ritual blood drinking, humans have to eat the corpse and not just drink the blood for that ritual to work. Television and movies get it wrong all the time. That's why I only watch YouTube. At least they get it right once in a while. I just love those tinfoil hat-wearing conspiracy nuts. Fascinating, isn't it? So you guess it's interesting, do you, Chris? That's just grand. I am so glad I can keep things interesting for you. You know what? I am tired of this place. Let's get out of here. Let's go have some real fun. You got a car? You do, around back? Where to, you ask? Well, of course, back to my place, silly. I have a loft uptown, near the Granger district. A very posh neighborhood, if I say so myself. If you're good, we might share a little passion. Only, of course, after a lot of pain, if you get my drift. You're parked all the way here in the back of the club. It's so dark and creepy back here. Isn't this dangerous? Someone can assault you and there is no one around to hear you scream. Oh, you're not worried? You can handle yourself? You pretentious boor. Yuck. Your blood tastes of drugs and disease. Oh, God, I think I'm going to be sick. Eat a vegetable once in a while and not so much red meat, pal. Owie, that hurts. The skin around your neck is as tough as a rhino's hide. I almost cracked a fang. You ever hear of moisturizer, Chief? Ugh, I can't stand people who don't respect their bodies. Don't worry, Chris. You're not dead yet. You are just near death. That's why you can't move or speak. I know you can still see and hear me. You see, I can read your thoughts. Yes, I am a vampire. But no, this is not your lucky day, my dear. I am not going to turn you into one of my kind. You see, there are rules about this sort of thing. It's complicated. It's all about bloodlines, and your social disease-ridden blood is toxic waste. Chris, my love, you are simply unworthy of such an honor. There are more things in heaven and earth, my dear Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. That's from Hamlet, by the way. No, that's not an egg dish. I said Hamlet, not omelet. Ugh, I am surrounded by idiots. I did thoroughly enjoy our conversation tonight. I haven't been that amused in years. All your prejudicial and judgy thoughts on Satanism and the dark arts. Where did you get all that stuff from? A comic book? You poor, dumb, ignorant bastard. FYI, there are so many different players in this game. Satan is only one of the fallen. Look at it this way. You are not even a man of faith, so you were screwed anyway. Yes, that means there is a God. Unfortunately, it's too late for you, love. Your time has run out. I did promise you a night of pain and passion. I gotta say, I was half right. It was painful for you. Hey, look at that. It's past midnight. Wow, it's getting late. I gotta run. Oh, by the way, 3, 2, and 1. Now you're dead. Toodles. Crap! You put a run in my new pair of black stockings. $10 wasted. Ugh, I felt you scratch at my legs with your nails when I bit you. Don't try to deny it. Oh, that's so not cool, bro. Pawing at a woman's legs without her permission. You, sir, are clearly no gentleman. You are so lucky you are dead, or else I would have killed you just for that. All right, Diana. You just need to take a deep breath and focus. You can still save the evening from being a total waste. If I double time it, I can still make it to the docks and grab a quick bite before sunrise. I swear, what's a gal have to do to get a decent meal around here? Do I have to move to an ultra-conservative, orthodox, religious country where they eat no meat? What's with all this clubbing and bed hopping? What happened to the days where people were just happy being dull and would save themselves for marriage? Maybe I should try moving to Canada. Strangers in the night, exchanging glances, wandering in the night. What were the chances we'd be sharing love before the night was through? Something in your eyes was so inviting, something in your smile was so exciting, something in my heart told me I must have you.
My name is Patriccia Blake. I was a rookie with the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. For my first assignment as a constable, I was posted to British Columbia in a large, sparsely populated area along the Yukon Territory border. It was a beautiful green, unspoiled wilderness, and in the winter, it was all white with snow for as far as the eye can see. My police detachment concentrated mostly on rural-based policing and a lot of search and rescue. That day, I was on my way to take several different reports in a very remote area. It was starting to snow heavily, and I had to drive many hours from our station just to get out here. The first report was over livestock mutilations. A rancher showed me mutilated animals all around the border of his ranch. Why would anyone do this, he kept asking me. I can understand stealing them and selling them, but why just rip them apart? I responded, there are many cult groups that perform rituals that require these types of animal sacrifices. The second report was a missing persons report. A young woman had never made it home from work over at the Gas and Dash one evening. They found her purse in a ditch just off the road. That was 5 days ago. Nobody has seen hide or hair of her since. The third and final report was a man and his wife who had reported a burglary of some jewelry and money from their home that occurred when they had gone out to get breakfast at a nearby truck stop. I interviewed both the man and his wife. I wrote it all up in my notebook and took pictures of the broken window that the suspect used to gain entry into the residence. The sun was setting when I got back into my police SUV and was back on the road. I'd been driving for about an hour when the bad weather had turned into a full snowstorm. There was poor visibility on the road, and the ice was making it difficult to drive, even with chains on my tires. I decided to pull over briefly and check in with the station. I radioed in, telling the dispatcher that I was overwhelmed by the storm and was going to try to seek shelter for the night. I would contact them in the morning to update them on my status and position. I pulled out my map to see how far the nearest town was. Just like I thought, eh? It would take 2 hours to get to the nearest town, even in good weather. I guess I was stuck spending the night in the SUV. I then remembered a farmhouse about 10 minutes from here that a banker from Toronto and his wife had purchased last fall. They had plans to convert it into a vacation cottage. I also remember a construction crew had started work on the property in late October. I hoped they would allow me to at least park on their property to weather out the storm. It was worth a shot. I managed to drive to the farmhouse, despite sliding off the road a couple of times because of the ice and strong winds. As I drove into the property, I noticed the place was abandoned. They had all left and probably would not back until the ground had thawed out in the spring. I saw the crew had left behind some construction equipment. I guess the construction crew started by remodeling the old farmhouse. I could spend the night there, I thought to myself. The crew had not yet torn down the dilapidated barn. I parked my SUV next to the house and went inside to see the condition. I entered through the kitchen. The construction crew had removed the door and replaced it with a plastic sheet. The owners had kept the main structure intact and were just adding on to it. I went upstairs. I walked through the upstairs rooms. They all had been left in various stages of completion. I found only 2 that had actual working doors. Out of the 2, only one had a working lock. I chose the one with the lock. I know, it was an empty house, but wanted to make sure I had a little protection from wild animals or anyone else who wandered in here to get away from the snow. I went back out and had a look around the place. Nothing but construction supplies scattered all around. When I walked into the barn, I saw a small, lightweight rowing boat that was probably left here by the new owners, along with other assorted boxes and personal items. The nearby lake was a great place to go boating in the summer. I then walked to my truck, grabbed my backpack and my RCMP emergency pack, and went upstairs to settle in for the night. I had luckily packed a lunch that I never got to eat because I got busy with work. I had a pack of Cheezies, much better than Cheetos, don't tell the Americans. I also had my all-time favorite, a donair sandwich. To wash it down, I had my leftover Tim Hortons coffee from this morning. Quite the feast for a lass from Charlottetown. I decided to turn in early, mainly because I couldn't get any cell phone reception with the storm and couldn't watch any YouTube videos. I pulled out my emergency blanket, one of those thin Mylar things that look like wrapping paper. I luckily wore my heavy RCMP parka. I put my gloves on and used my backpack as a pillow. It was just before 3 a.m. when I heard a big crash that seemed to have come from the barn. I got up from the floor and walked over to the window. I peeked out, but saw no movement. I laid back down when I heard what sounded like a deep and menacing scream. It didn't sound like any moose or wolf I have ever heard, that's for sure. I put on my gun belt. I grabbed my flashlight from my emergency pack. I drew my sidearm and headed downstairs. I walked out the front door and headed towards the barn. As I walked into the barn, I was immediately hit by a foul odor. It was a horrible combination of mold and wet dog. Disgusting. Earlier, when I came into the barn, I didn't smell this stench. Something or someone has only recently been here. As I walked further into the barn, I saw a big hole in the back of the barn. It had to be at least 7 feet tall. It looked like something crashed through the barn wall. I walked towards the hole. I lost my footing and fell to the ground. Ouch! I sprained my ankle. My foot had fallen into a small ditch in the snow. I then slowly got up and looked down at the ground. That's when I noticed it was not a ditch, but a 5-toed footprint. My flashlight lit up a whole set of large and wide footprints. They led back towards the hole in the barn. I noticed the tracks seemed to have descended from a small hill in back behind the barn. The stride of the footprints was impressive. What could have made them? They are no bear tracks. I heard a big crash accompanied by the sound of breaking glass. It was coming from outside. I need to find out what the hell is going on here. I walked out of the barn and headed towards the front of the house. That's when I came upon my SUV. The whole front part of it had been crushed in. It was like something heavy fell on top of it. I looked around my SUV but didn't see a boulder or anything else that could have done this. Crap! How am I going to explain this to the sergeant tomorrow morning, eh? Then I heard loud noise emanating from inside the house. Looks like we have an intruder, I said to myself. Tabernacle. All right, let's see who it is. I quickly and quietly made my way into the house through the missing front door. I saw the door had been torn from its hinges and thrown out in the snow. When I had arrived, a brand new door had been there. It was also locked, that's why I had to go in through the back. I heard very heavy footsteps from the second floor. I walked up to the second floor holding my gun in front of me and ready for anything. It had suddenly gone quiet. Then I heard what sounded like a grunt behind me. I turned around and got hit in the face by what felt like a large, hairy tree trunk. The impact sent me flying into a wall. I bounced off hard and came crashing to the hard wooden floor. As I looked up, I saw a wide, hulking mass of fur and claws. It had these glowing red eyes. It just couldn't be. It was a Sasquatch. I raised my weapon and started blindly shooting at it. I turned and ran into one of the bedrooms in the back of the house. I quickly shut the door behind me. The door then exploded and pieces of wood fell everywhere. I fired my gun at it. It slapped at my hand and the gun flew from my grip. I grabbed at a bucket of paint I found on the floor and threw it at its face. It let out a scream. The thing tried to wipe the paint from its eyes. I saw a window. I ran towards it, covering my face with my arms. I crashed through it and fell into a thick patch of snow. I looked up and could hear the beast struggling with getting the paint out of its eyes. I lost my gun, and that thing doesn't look like I can take it down with a chokehold. I ran for the barn. There it is. I grabbed the rowboat and ran for the edge of the hill in front of the property. I then heard a loud crash as I saw this thing walk around from the back of the house. It started running towards me. I pushed the boat over the edge and jumped into the inside like I'd seen those luge guys do in the Olympics. I was going very fast down that icy hill. I briefly looked back but didn't see that thing following me. I was thrashing about the inside of the boat. I was holding on for dear life. I bumped the side of my face several times. The boat hit a large bump and I was airborne. I came down hard and I heard a big crack. Next thing I know, the boat is falling apart around me. I start rolling on the snow and hit a snowbank. This stops me abruptly and my neck snaps back. H-E-double hockey sticks. My neck began to throb in pain. I slowly managed to get up off the ground. I did it. I had gotten away from that thing. I looked up and saw the road only a few feet away from me. I saw some headlights in the distance coming closer. It was a pickup truck being driven by a young woman. I ran into the road and waved down the car. Stop! Stop!
Oh, my! What happened, officer?
I need you to get me away from here, now. It's official RCMP business.
Oh, for sure, officer. No worries.
As we began to drive away, I started to feel relief. That is when something rammed the pickup from our right side and pushed us off the road and into the canyon below. We rolled and rolled. All I could hear was the screams coming from the young woman and myself. Then, all I remember is waking up on the floor of the canyon. I opened my eyes and saw the red eyes of the creature looking down at me. His enormous clawed and hairy hand was coming towards me. I screamed out, "Help me! Help me! Someone please help me!"
Didn't you find those tales just thrilling? What do you mean you don't enjoy scary stories? You also think they're highly inappropriate and a bit deranged? You do realize it's Halloween and not Easter, right? It's a spooky, rainy night with lots of lightning, creating a very eerie atmosphere. What are you, some kind of priest? You're not a priest, are you? No, good. I just meant I'm not Catholic. Oh, you prefer sci-fi anyway. I suppose there's no accounting for taste. No, didn't say anything. You seem to be interested in my cat. He keeps scratching at your leg and looking at you as if he's trying to tell you something. Oh, you silly mailman. Stop trying to snitch on me. You can't even be a good cat. It's only fair you take the place of my previous cat after you ran him over with your mail truck. Now start getting used to being a house cat, and I mean it. Wait, young man, don't be alarmed. No, young man, I'm not insane. Yes, I did just say that my cat used to be my mailman. What was that? I seem too young and pretty to be insane. I assure you I'm not crazy. Do you really find me attractive? And it's just so sweet of you. That's why I switched bodies with the young woman who came to my house last week collecting for charity. I found her body simply adorable. What happened to the girl? I called the police and had her arrested as a homeless woman trespassing on my property. Last I heard, they locked her up in the mental ward of the hospital. What do you mean that sounds deplorable? I am beginning to sense a lot of judgment coming from you. It's called survival, so don't be hating on me. That's so not cool, bruh. I'm still getting used to this new body. It's like sort of breaking in an ill-fitting garb. As a witch, I've learned many ways to cheat death. I've been using that same trick for over 1,000 years. Well, that sounds like a long time when I say it out loud. What are you doing? You're trying to stand up? Yeah, you're going to find that hard to do. That is why I told you those 3 stories for the tea to take effect. The tea has sapped all of your strength for now. I need you to stay put while I finish something I've been working on. With this little cobweb potion, you will fall into dark devotion. No, I didn't steal that line from a Scooby-Doo movie. If anything, they stole it from me, okay? I need a good zombie slave to do my bidding and, frankly, some light housework. For some reason, I get a lot of cobwebs around here. Yeah, I don't know why that keeps happening. What do you mean you don't do windows? Silence! And now the sacred words of the incantation. Canda, Estrada, Dios, Allah, Minon, Nosferatu Kala, Mortem, Demon Atus. You will now serve me all the days of your life and beyond your own death. Bye.